Yes. And the last issue that came up needed my presence. Otherwise, Council will stand to lose about 40 million naira. So I have to move away. Thank you. Having said this, my vote of thanks will be a little bit different. I will want to begin by thanking the organizers of this program very sincerely. From the first time they came over some few months back, up to this time when our first program is being implemented, I think this marriage has come to stay. And Kaduna State University scholars have everything to gain. Most of those that are involved are very, 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 and very highly educated scholars. And each time we are talking about philosophy, I get glued to the discussion because discussion on philosophy is something that I so much cherish. And it is in this sense that my vote of thanks will focus on three things. The not interested component as one, the interested component, and the not too interested component. So which one do I begin with? Let me begin with the not so interested because it focuses on philosophy. Philosophy is a thing that not many people will want to find it interesting. However, for scholars, philosophy is the only thing that makes a scholar to be a scholar. If I see people arguing in terms of research, if I see things getting wrong, many a times I keep quiet. I don't talk. And for those that are close to me, they will say, speak, speak, speak. I will begin. If I want to speak, from where do I begin? But if we meet philosophers as scholars, and scholars as philosophers, there are certain discussions that you go into, that you engage into, and then you know you are in the right place to talk. When the last speaker was talking, one thing was very clear. He kept saying one philosopher contradicts another philosopher. And it may interest you to know that that single act of contradiction in philosophy is known as dialectics. Dialectics is a deliberate attempt by scholars to contradict each other with the sole purpose of coming up with better understanding of issues. Each time we speak and people get feedback, focusing on perspective that is completely different their own, that is one thing that helps scholarship to move forward. If we agree everything that has been said, today we will still believe that the world is round and not spherical. The second component that made me of interest is that when as the first presenter was making his speech, I can see him struggling to come up with model whereby lecturers and scholars can integrate concepts in Islam and in Quran and Hadith in our everyday dealings. Inside me, as he was trying to make that justification, I was like, why him? He doesn't have to do this. Because what is interesting about knowledge is that knowledge, similar to money, there is a way you wrap money. No matter how much you want to hide it, it will still look like money. It's the same thing with knowledge. Knowledge is global. No matter how much we try to convince somebody to apply knowledge, the choice is entirely lies on that person. It's either he uses it to good use or he will not take the next 2, 3 steps. He will be faced with the same knowledge that he rejected in the past. So what is interesting about Quran? What is so interesting about Islam? We don't have to convince people to integrate. It will naturally come. It's either we take it now or we will wait until several hundred of millions of dollars is spent to come up with equipment that will help us in coming up with data to establish a fact. Then by the time that fact came into being, it's already there in the Holy Quran. So that is so what is interesting about what I'm going to say. All what we need to do as Muslims is for us to be conscious about one fact. Islam is knowledge. Knowledge is Islam. Whatever you need, whatever explanation that the world needed is all embedded in Islam. The whole field of knowledge is an assignment given to humanity. The human body that we see has gave rise to how many literature? Has gave rise to how many specialists? Has gave rise to how many schools, institutions, and research centers, all embodied in the body of the Holy Quran. And yet, as one thing is discovered, there are still many more that are yet to be discovered. But by the time Allah has given humans the knowledge of that discovery, you realize is there in one sentence or a phrase in the Holy Quran. Every day you read Holy Quran, I swear to God, it's as if you are reading it afresh, unless if you don't reflect in the meaning of the Holy Quran. The most celebrated theory in information system is UTAUT, unified theory. Unified. After they have unified every single theory about technology adoption, they came up with what? One phrase, behavioral intention. The moment I was introduced to that theory in the United States, and I was like, this is hadith number 1. Behavioral intention. And that was, when that theory came into being, it is still the most celebrated theory in information system. But that has already been covered over 1,400 years ago. that action is judged according to what? Intention. In technology use or in innovation use, the intentions to use technology, the ability to use technology is rooted in what? In one's intention. They're not too interested is that I have here today my very, very, very good childhood friend in the name of Garba Bello. All of our usefulness at Bayero University Kano, we did it with him. He is a very good friend of mine to the extent that when I wanted to get married, he escorted me to, and I encouraged him to marry the friend of my wife. And you know there are men and there are men. He is not too strong to add another wife. So having said this, I would want to conclude by saying that we thank you so much. May Allah in His mercy reward you abundantly. And for us in Kaduna State University, I wish to make it very clear, we don't take scholarship lightly. Everything that has been said, I have already given a mandate that we will go and content analyze all of the presentations and make sure that we came up with a model in a way that we use it. Because knowledge is useless unless if it is put to practice. Secondly, a follow-up workshop will be done on um, value-based teaching and research. That will be the next segment. Then as to the video clip, the video lecture, we are creating a complete session for the university community. We'll invite scholars, both staff and students, to watch the video, and then we get somebody that can anchor in which we deliberate on the content of the video. Then I will also want to tell you something that is closely related to the Islamic thought. For us in Kaduna State University, we are always proactive. And we have foreseen this happening. And just 3 months ago, our governing council has approved a brand new Center for Quranic Science. And part of all of this discussion about knowledge, about Islamic perspective to knowledge, about everything that we feel is knowledge in the world, and the relationship with the Quranic, with what the Quran has in place, will be topical issues in that center. It is with this I want to again thank you so much, and to also signify that there is a need for us to move forward with our discussion by way of signing an MOU. Thank you so much. Jazakallah khairan.